Good evening, my name is Jeff Marshall. I'm a resident of Forest Heads, about 3 miles from the proposed site. My wife and I have 3 children. I'm a retired Navy test pilot, and I still work in the aviation industry. Our family moved here about 7 years ago. I've flown extensively in the Elmira area over the past 7 years in helicopters, airplanes, and gliders. I want to briefly discuss 2 local weather phenomena that I believe pertain to the Dominion application for the proposed site: winds and temperature pressure. The Dominion application uses site weather from the Elmira Airport and applies that information directly to the proposed site area. As an aviator, I can tell you for a certainty that the wind in the valley is going to be different than the wind on the other side of the ridge. A brief look at the weather underground site will tell you, using some of the local personal weather stations in the local area, that this fact is true. Our topography is not homogeneous, and so it stands that our winds are not going to be the same regardless of which side of the hill you're on. This inherently obvious fact matters in aviation. I'm certain it's going to matter to the local residents around that proposed compressor. The inversion layer. If you were here this morning, you observed our valley fault. That's an illustration of our inversion layer. It's not an infrequent occurrence. It ruined my flight schedule for the most part of last year. This fault was so significant it was actually the subject of a 1993 published research paper. One of the negative outcomes of an inversion layer is that pollutants are trapped below it. Having spent a significant part of my life in Los Angeles and then several trips to the Persian Gulf, I can attest to having first-hand knowledge of the effect. In the Gulf, the inversion traps all the pollutants from the waste gas being burned off the oil wells, creating haze, foul smell, lung irritation, eye irritation. In LA, the cause and effect is the same. This inversion will not be detected using upper air data from Buffalo, which is where it was taken from, as a cherry-picked data source. This morning in Elmira, we had for today's event, this morning in Elmira, the temperature was 55 degrees Fahrenheit. Elmira's at 954 feet MSL. At my house, it was 57. That's it. There's your inversion. Again, only local data is going to provide that information. Dominion shows Buffalo for their upper atmospheric data, and this morning in Buffalo at 8 a.m., it was 10 miles in visibility, partly cloudy, and 63 degrees Fahrenheit. Dominion application methodology lacks rigor and does not comply with due diligence. That'll get you killed in my industry. My conclusion is that the Dominion facility permit should be denied by the DEC. The company has chosen data because it was available, not because it was applicable to the local area. They have not validated their model using data from the actual site location. There's no good excuse not to do the work. There are companies that perform meteorological field surveys who could easily gather and interpret the data for them. For the second quarter of 2016, Dominion financial filings showed a net income of $452 million. That's $500 million, and a revenue of $2.5 billion per generation.
Please conclude, sir.
The company is unwilling to spend this.
Your time is up, sir.
Okay. It's not willing to spend this amount of money